Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 5 Critical Settings Seminar. I'm your presenter, Shalina Michelle Tate, and as a quick recap, I was placed in the South Carolina foster care system by age 5. I detail my 17-year journey in my book, Fostered, now on Amazon. I'm a developing foster care content creator with a brand called Gracefully Chosen in the works, and I host an achievement focused podcast called Fostered My Stories with other projects in the works. I'm super excited for another year with advancing foster care topics with Dr. John DeGarmo and many other dynamic leaders. So last time, introduced to you the W's of foster care through the Fostering the Purpose seminar and how you can become better involved. So today I would like to express how to assist in attributing positive memories in diverse settings related to foster youth. If you are a current or aspiring foster parent, teacher, mentor, or advocate, think about the positive memories that have contributed to your childhood. What was the setting? Who was involved? Why is this significant? Let us think about this in 3, 2, 1. Time. All right. Did you think of any? I can recall from second grade how my homeroom teacher, Miss Freeman, took extra time to encourage me during many of my academic struggles. And imagine my surprise when she arrived to my foster care home to take myself and a small group of others to see The Little Mermaid. This inclusive, positive notion was sadly not the norm in that foster home placement, but I hope your memories were more positive than negative. If not, this is the sensitivity that we need to hold on to when creating a positive narrative for others and the youth we desire to encourage. In this seminar, I would like us to look at 5 settings we can help contribute positive memories in for foster care youth. The settings are inclusive but not limited to memories. So before we get to the 5 settings, I think it's important for us to consider 3 terms that we really need to pay attention to in order to better understand the settings. First, we need to know the who is the foster child. According to Wiki and Webster, a minor placed into a ward, group home, or private home of a state-certified caregiver, referenced foster parent, or most recent with a family member, also called kinship care, approved by the state. For example, underserved youth raised by grandparents could be viewed as having kinship care. And once again, that was the who is the foster child. We are desiring to attribute positive memories for locations, right? All right, and then next, as far as another consideration, the what is the memory, also from Wiki and Webster. Memory is the power or process of reproducing or recalling what has been learned and retained, especially through associative mechanisms. So, for example, I can still remember how Miss Freeman looks from second grade. Once again, these are a quick review of terminology that we need to consider in better understanding how we're going to attribute a positive memory to locations for foster care youth. All right, and the where is the setting, also from Wiki and Webster, is the time, place, and circumstances in which something occurs or develops. For example, in second grade, Miss Freeman encouraged me in school because I struggled with advanced academics as a foster child. And to recap those 3 terms, the who is the foster child or foster youth. What is the memory, which is what you're trying to attribute in creating as a positive memory. The where is the setting that you are trying to attribute the memory to. All right, the home, inside and outside of the home. So, providing support to a foster youth at home is just as important as outside, right? So, for many, entering a new home as a foster youth can be a scary thing, depending on age. And the younger, from my experience, I was placed in between the ages of 3 to 5, it makes the process smoother. So, making the foster youth feel welcome can go a long way. Although trust is built upon, in most cases, providing creative input can trigger increase in self-esteem. For a child coming from a harmful or controlling environment, they may not have the confidence to ask for help, display natural gifts, that means their talents and positivity, or feel as if they have valuable input. So, assisting in this change can assist in healing and development. So, once again, contributing to positive memories inside and outside of the home can help attribute to development for the foster care youth. All right, next up, once again, and not limited to this list, is school, inside and outside of school. Aside from feeling safer at home, foster youth need to not feel awkward when going to and from school. In school, I stuck out like a sore thumb because my clothes were too old. In other words, I wore clothes, or I was given clothes to wear that were from the thrift shop. So I stuck out like a sore thumb along with the other foster sister. My hair was always unkept, and I also had childhood dental issues I could not help. So, unfortunately, kids were not as kind, and bullying can leave the worst impression on an already fragile youth. So, to help counter this, encouragement can go a long way, especially if you are a teacher or a mentor or advocate, and definitely a foster parent. So, to the bio parents, this can go a long way, right? So, if a child is being bullied at home, they're naturally not going to have as much enthusiasm or joy or confidence at school. So, to counter this, extracurricular activities, academic tutoring, and possibly encouraging them to make new positive friends are encouraged to meet the child where they are. So, coming from school should inspire opportunities for creativity, eagerness to learn, and opportunities to grow despite personal struggles. The worst thing we can do as leaders is to kind of kick the child while they're down, right? I can my childhood memory to recall that I was so excited to bring home improved grades because I know for myself I was trying the best I could, but it was a struggle for math. And when I made any type of improvement, I would be so excited to take it home to the foster home, the same foster home where I was taken to go see The Little Mermaid. And unfortunately, when I got there, I would always be accused of not trying my hardest, or the teachers just gave me the grade out of sympathy. So you just have to be careful, especially if you are a mentor or a teacher, to not already kind of kick the child while they're down, right? Try to encourage and support, and to let them know that they can do it, right? All right, and so finding ways to incorporate maybe ABC Mouse, the Adventure Academy, or K-12 can also provide individualized strategies. So once again, the school setting inside and outside of the school is very vital to help attribute to positive memory for foster care youth. All right, next up, aside from home and school, this is so important. This is so very important to consider family events. Family events inside and outside of family events, especially vital for foster youth attending family events. When it comes to family events, this may produce negative triggers or positive sense of belonging, meaning either the child will be reminded that they are different and family separated, or embrace unknown love and acceptance. Growing up, I've seen both of these examples where I stuck out like a sore thumb once again because everyone knew I was the foster child in the home. I was not embraced as equal to the family. It was made apparent through my clothing, how people talked to me, that I was was different. That's not a good feeling for a foster youth, and especially the older they get. That leaves a very negative impression, right? When you're younger, you carry memories too as well. There's things I remember from youth, surprisingly 3 to 5 years old, I remember as well. So trying to help create an environment through family events that embrace love and acceptance can go a long way. So each home is varied, as I was privy to. In some homes, it was no secret I was a foster child, while in others, I was already welcomed as part of the family. So, which narrative do you recall most from your childhood? Let's think about that in 3, 2, 1. Pause. Time's up. All right. Well, I hope your memories bring back laughter, love, and acceptance. If not, consider how to make a better memory for a youth to relate to. So I understand that every now and then, foster parents, as do parents and family, need vacations or breaks. And sadly, during this time, many foster kids are shoved into respite care homes, kind of as a reminder that they are not family. Now, once again, I'm just speaking from experience. Yet, if you can counter that as the go-to, consider the joy it could bring in including a child on your next vacation, cookout, or trip to Disney. It may trigger hope of inclusion for the future. Once again, I do understand everyone needs a break, but if you do take multiple vacation trips, then consider how to include your foster children, depending on age, of course, and allowing them to explore and have an adventure. And it just may, be the positive memory, a new positive memory that can help them. All right. And so, aside from trying to create better memories inside of homes, schools, family events, the best thing next that I would like to encourage is trying to create positive memories with foster parents. I cannot stress how important it is to only consider foster parenting or kinship care for the right reasons. After a certain age, youth become more sensitive to genuine and the perception of love. Typically, sibling groups become separated due to age preference and pre-emancipation. Adolescents become harder to place or adopt. So, ways we can consider becoming or being the exception in these cases is making sure the youth we assist feel included, welcomed, and thought about. Earlier I shared how just going to the movies gave me an improved sense of belonging. Other factors will vary depending on age. For example, K-5 age groups may enjoy trips to the zoo and the aquarium. Middle schoolers may just need someone to just listen to their struggles and congratulate small victories, while the emancipation pre-groups need assurance in making adult decisions and feeling better prepared to enter life. What age group are you most connected with? I have discovered so far that I can sing Baby Shark with the K-5, counter bullying with the middle schoolers, can encourage returning learners of the value they still have. So that's important. We have to take time to find ways to create memories as foster parents. And I'm not a foster parent, but I know a lot of them, right? I grew up in foster care. This is just an encouragement to foster parents to consider creating the better memory for the foster youth. Pulling from my memory bank, biggest thing you could do as a foster parent is, once again, I cannot stress enough, only going into this line of service if you're doing it for the right reasons. In other words, never talk about how much you're going to get as a stipend in front of the youth. Never tell them how they're different or how their parents messed up. Never tell them, that no one wants them or cares for them. I'm pulling from my memory bank. And you see how kind of down that sounds, doesn't sound too good type feel. We want to change that narrative, right? We want to be the exception, as if you're a foster parent, a mentor, advocate, social worker, the list goes on, a teacher. How can we change the narrative? because once again, these youth are entering your home. You are the authority, and then they have to go to school and face possibly being different. And then they also have to, try to navigate your home and the reality, depending on age, if they feel like they belong there. And then they also have to consider, like, well, how they fit in with your family, and if they're included on family events and not feel awkward. So just that journey as a foster youth can make a difference. But you as the authority, us as the mentors or leaders, can also attribute to this as well, right? Another thing I did not mention earlier, but while children are transitioning in their homes and with foster parents, I understand how overwhelming it can be for the social workers involved, the advocates, CASA advocates that may be involved, mentors and teachers, find a way to equally include the youth in your setting. For instance, of course, the reality is no one likes to be labeled foster child, but the reality is many do have that label awareness to others. So any foster youth in your home, when they come to school, they may have, some medical needs. So the school nurse may need to be involved. The principal, of course, biological family have lost their rights, and the school needs to be aware that they can't have visitations. And so as a teacher, the mentor, the advocate need to be aware, find ways to still make the child feel as if they are welcomed, appreciated, and valued. I feel that goes a long way. Once again, all this does come together, but that's not excluding the biological families and parents, right? So, despite how the youth came to foster care, it is vital never to bash or degrade the choices that the biological parents have made. This is extremely important around children of a certain age group who are allowed visits or possible reunification as a support system. Finding ways to inspire and encourage during separation could attribute to positive outcomes. Remembering the care you displayed could account towards a parent getting cleaned from drugs, bad relationships, or realization that your home is the better placement. I've heard of the cases. In whichever case, how we engage bio families leave just as big of an impact on their children we want to care for. So during family separation, consider ways to provide positivity of including the bio family if possible. If this is not best for the child, make sure to speak life, empathy, and support towards their healing around their youth. This is especially important for your child who may be a teen about to reunify or preparing to age out of the system. Because I will say this, 9 times out of 10, when a child is about to be reunified or aging out, unfortunately, despite what you would desire as a foster parent, maybe a mentor or advocate, going to go back to their family. They just decided to go a different route. But then that goes into being emancipation ready, right? A lot of youth, unfortunately, they're so excited to leave and emancipate at age 18, but they're not really ready to handle the cares of life, get their own place, pay bills, working. So a lot of them are not ready, and they go out there, and then unfortunately they'll end back up with family or go to setting they've always known. Scrapbooks, encouragement, cards, and clear communication could go a long way. Then reminding the bios how they messed up or why their child is removed. They should know in any case your connection progressed their youth towards positive outcomes. Every person's situation is going to be different, and so that's why we as leaders need to try to encourage them, and especially while they are in care, not to speak ill will of their biological family while the parent is on their journey of healing as well. You'll be surprised that just having their child there is a form of healing for the child and the parent, and then maybe there's some memories that you revert back to that it could be a healing season. Just to recap, right? We must understand the foster child is the who we want to assist. The memory is what we want to make positive, and the mentioned settings are part of various critical places we can help provide change. So diverse contributions will arise for adolescents of different ages. So how we assist inside and outside homes, schools, and family events add significance to how we also handle youth with or without foster and bio parents. Our memories may not have always been positive, right? But that does not mean we cannot heal, helping youth create new ones. If you have enjoyed today's content, would love to hear your feedback on the updated Advancing the Foster Care Topics Facebook page. I really enjoyed taking time out here today with you and presenting a new chapter of content for the Advancing the Foster Care Topics with Dr. John DeGarmo and the other dynamic leaders that are presenting to you. And I'm excited to really just hear your feedback and then also see how you are connecting with the other leaders that are presenting the content and how it may really encourage and inspire you and your family to get involved. Would like to further connect with me, you can Foster My Stories. The link right there is an achievement focused podcast that kind of helps inspires the foster, adoption, orphan, and underserved communities. So if your upbringing, community service, or job connects you to foster, adoption, orphan, or underserved communities, I would love to have you on the podcast. You can send an email or a message on Facebook, Shalina Michelle Tate, and tell me a snippet of how your background relates. And make sure to check updates about content posted on selected Wednesdays throughout the month and listen to the podcast on any of the platforms convenient to you. Red Circle Podcast, where you can attribute to or donate to the efforts of this podcast. You can visit the link: Audible, Amazon Music, Radio Public, Google Podcast, Spotify, and also there is a Foster My Stories Facebook page where you can actually listen to the podcast there. If you are interested in purchasing a copy of Fostered, you can also visit this link here. Follow-ups, which are now in development. Fostered is my 17-year journey through the foster care system, from the viewpoint of an ex-foster child, what it's like, right? Some people have questions like, well, what's it like being in foster care? Well, this book kind of details that. Consider purchasing a hard copy or Kindle copy of Fostered by Shalina Michelle Tate via Amazon.com. I will say that in order to get to the book's link, you would have to type Fostered by Shalina Michelle Tate in order for it to pop up. So a memory can have a lasting effect on a youth and how they become stagnant or progress. Today was a reminder not to let past traumatic memories hinder your healing and helping others. For the youth we desire to support, this is critical to their social status, retention, and the setting for the memory we help create. Please share this with someone, and remember, as always, that being fostered, adopted, orphaned, or underserved simply means you're gracefully chosen. Thanks for listening.